following live broadcast is rated ESV PG. Some deep topics may be discussed and God knows what else. Welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about a variety of different topics, but most importantly, we've got a very special moment with one of our very own that we're going to be bringing to you live, that we're going to discuss about the problems we often share, but most importantly, it's our open forum, so it's all about you. Whatever you want to talk about, that's what we're here for. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All righty. Good evening, everybody. Keith Liffin here for Ear Shoulder Voice. Glad to have you here tonight. Tonight is our Sunday show, our open forum. So whatever you want to talk about, that's what we're here for. If it's something that's been in the news, been on your mind, something about the movies coming out, whether you're dealing with something personal, some trauma to you, or just a great thing that's happened, we're here for you. Please tell us in the chat how your week's been, because we want to know about it. Other than that, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow to Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're on all those, officially on Twitter now. You can chat live during the show. We'll respond to all your comments right here with you. And you can also call into the show simply by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. You can join by audio or video. The choice is up to you. Other than that, we can't have a show without a panel, so let's bring them in. All right, our first panelist this evening, of course, please welcome Anthony. Anthony, how's it going? All right, good talk, good talk. Glad to have you on here.
Doing well, Keith. How are you?
Doing well. I'm doing pretty good. So, how has your time been going? I know we haven't had the show for you in a couple weeks that you were available to talk about things. I know things were going a little rough for you for a minute. How is everything right now?
Everything right now is it's pretty good. Can't complain too much.
Well, that's no fun. We want some complaints.
The roughness comes and goes, right? It's
Well, we're always here for you when you need that. That's what we're here for as well. But we're also here for other people. Let's bring in our next panelist, Bill. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm coming live to you from Kathy's garage. So yeah,
Her garage. Garage. Yeah, it's a different setting for you for a change. I like it.
yeah. I'm usually in my garage. So yeah.
So what's been going on with you, Bill? Anything exciting? Anything new?
Truck broke down. Sister still hasn't moved out.
Still?
Still working on it.
Okay, we got to keep working on that for sure. I was like, it's been a slow week apparently for people. There's not a lot going on with anything. Everybody's just getting in. Is it like the weather because it was rainy and dreary or what? I love the rain.
With us, I mean, I work in the house during the day and stuff like that. Come over here to Kathy's house and we have some beers at night and play cards or play darts, and then that's it.
Nice. All right, I'm going to bring in our next panelist, but before I do, there's a video I want to share. They've been going through something as well, and this is a message from them. So please pay attention to the video because we also want to help this individual as best we can on here. And here is that video.
I did a puzzle with my girlfriend, and I almost killed myself. The pandemic put a lot of pressure on all of us, whether we wanted to admit it or not. For me, it put pressure on my workplace. For me, it put pressure between me and a coworker, Kevin. That's right, Kevin is the male version of Karen. We were just all angry and yelling at each other all the time. Stuff was getting backed up. We were running out of room. It was getting hectic. Got so bad one afternoon I snapped, tossed my gloves down, stormed out, went home early in a rage. Just when I sat down too, much like many of us in the area, I lost power to that windy storm. Hi, Juji. Just like that, I had to sit there with all that anger, all that hate. I hate my job. Hate my life, hate my house, hate everything. But me and my girlfriend made the most out of the power outage. We did campfires, made some s'mores and shit. But I was depressed. I was depressed, embarrassed, upset with myself. I didn't let her see it, though. She said, "Want to do a puzzle?" I said, "Sure." But I couldn't focus on it, just like I couldn't focus at work. I just was too mad. I tried putting this one puzzle piece in, and it didn't fit. And I just threw my hands up and said, "This is stupid." And as calm as can be, my girlfriend took the same puzzle piece, just flipped it, and it set right in. And I just fixated on it. I didn't know why I was fixating on it, but it was all I could think about. Tried to go back to work. Couldn't think about anything else but that puzzle piece. And one night, I just felt the walls closing in. Like everything, all this pressure. And I snapped again. But this time in like a sad, depressed snap. I can't quite explain it, but it felt like the walls closed in so hard that it crushed into my soul. And something in there popped, and I got this idea of flipping. What if, just like the puzzle piece, I just flipped everything? What if I flipped the way I looked at things? What if instead of I hate my job, hate my house, hate my life, what if I just flipped all of that with love? And it worked. I was happy. Went into work the next day and just loved it. I was in the best mood I had been in forever. I was making everybody laugh. I was being funny again. Everyone was smiling. I even came up with the whole ideas for the HR department. So much energy, but no focus. I couldn't focus on a task other than talking to people. I got home later that night. Same happy energy, and Ashley jumped back from me. She was like scared of me. Like I was someone else. And that hurt. How could she be the only person who was mad that I was happy? So I shook it off. Went back into work the next day, same energy, happy as could be. But something happened that was terrifying. I wasn't ready for. People didn't understand me. People didn't know what I was saying. I wasn't making sense. I've never had that happen to me before. Sorry. It's heavy. Next thing I knew, everything was unraveling around me. I had no idea why people couldn't understand me. I was lashing out, crying for help in my own ways. And I ended up in the fetal position that night, just sobbing. I ended up hospitalized. I was in a psych ward. I learned a lot about myself there, though. Learned about my strengths, my weaknesses, why I act certain ways in certain situations. In my time in the psych ward, I learned why I did everything I did my whole life up to this point. But would people believe me? Once you don't make sense, it's scary. It's scary to trust people because you can't trust yourself. You have to ask people if what you're saying is making sense. It's a scary proposition, and I've been terrified. But I try my best. I feel myself getting better. I have to trust that I'm getting better, and all I can do is go off of the feedback of people around me. But that's all I'm doing is trying. Going off of reactions and keep moving forward. That's where I'm at. Happy and motivated, but with caution. So, I did a puzzle with my girlfriend, and it saved my life.
Very, very deep. So, Brandon, that was obviously not an easy thing for you to do.
No.
I mean, how are you feeling right now? Like as of now, I know this was about a week ago. You posted that.
I feel a week farther better than I was then. Because I've been making sense to people. And I don't know, I feel happy.
You had mentioned that you weren't making sense to people. Were you making sense to yourself?
Yeah.
So it was like, as you look back now, were you still making sense to yourself, or do you realize what you were saying?
As I look back now, I don't remember it as much. I know I wasn't sleeping, and that's a big part of it, I think.
I mean, you're really a big part of this. One of the things we talk about is, Brandon, you've been on the show several times. You're a comedian, you're happy. Usually you have a career, you have a life, and you never know how someone can be hit or what's going inside of them.
Right.
You say you were happy, you felt happy like always. And were you really inside? Or were you hiding turmoil?
At the time, I had no idea. I felt happy, and that's what's scary about it, is I was maybe too happy, because I found that when I got way too high, that's when I hit rock bottom with the crying in the fetal position. For sure needed more sleep, and that took months for that, or weeks.
Were you sleep deprived, or do you know anything that might have led up to that to begin with?
It was around the anniversary of my brother's death, which he committed suicide, and I probably hadn't really dealt with it before.
Was this like the first year, or how long had it been?
7 years.
7 years. So it's been one of those things you kind of put it in the background each time
Yeah.
and tried to avoid it, and this year it hit hard. Well, thank God somebody was there for that. Has anybody else on this panel gone through things similar to that? Because it is something we often hide, or we don't see it, and nobody can see it within us.
I've been treated for depression for over 20 years. I'm one of the first people here in Michigan that they gave Prozac to when it first came out.
Wow.
You have triggers, Brandon, and my trigger was my father died, but my whole thing with my thing with that was the fact that he needed operation. He wasn't going to have the operation. I talked him into it, and it actually killed him. And you have that in your head. And I have depression. My daughter, Jerica, she's the same thing. She has depression, and we've been on Prozac. My daughter's 23 years old, and my daughter was born right before my father passed. And she went through different stuff in her life when we got separated. But with me, with my father and stuff like that, and I have depression and anxiety, which I'm treated for all the time. But when everything started happening with me, my difference was I got angry. And I was working at the bar. And if I asked you to leave and you didn't leave, I beat the hell out of you. And all my friends just looked at me and it's like, you got to stop that. You got to stop that. I said, I work here. It's my job. But then I sat there and finally realized I'm sitting there back and I don't have, my right mind going on. And I wasn't happy because whenever I went home, I sat in my room. And I sat there by myself and I didn't do anything. And I waited till night and then I went to work. And it was weird. I have had a lot of people that have talked to me and that I've talked to over time too, that they told me, and I understand it because it did to me at first. When they started taking the Prozac, they didn't feel like they were them. The medication made them feel different, and a lot of people would stop taking it. And I said, listen, it's like everything else. You have to take it for a certain amount of time and be there or whatever. But I'm a decent person. I still have my anger situation and stuff like that sometimes, but my depression is not so bad anymore. So, but I have a lot of people, Kathy and Will and Tracy, you know, and them and Sam and stuff, and they're always around and they always talk to me. And I had a son I never knew came back into my life. Man's 32 years old, you know, and I found out he's my son 2 years ago. So I mean, it's a different thing. So it kind of brings me out of it a little bit, and it's the people around me, your support. Everybody you have to support you, and if they want to support you, take it.
Definitely. Support is one of the biggest things I think is important for people to have during this. You have to have people around you to let you know, not just that they're there for you, but for you to feel some kind of comfort that you're okay. He mentioned medication. Carlin's here. She says, I have major depression, and she says she's agoraphobic now. And I'm curious, Carlin, how do you work with that? How do you work through it? Is it something you've been able to work to get better, or do you think it's declining at this point? You mentioned agoraphobic, and that's one of the things I actually fear because I go through the depression a lot, and when I get depressed, I cut myself off from the world. I don't want to leave. I don't want to answer the phone to my relatives, my best friends, anybody. I don't want to talk to them. And it's one of the things I fear is leaving the house. Carlin also says, Prozac made me feel nothing. It was strange, like numb, so I've been on different meds. I've noticed a lot of people I've seen that have tried to take medications, they almost feel zombified. And they're like she says, she's numb. She feels nothing on there. Did you have to deal with any of that? Either one of you?
I'm actually on Abilify for bipolar. And when I was diagnosed bipolar, it kind of fit way more than just depression because I thought about how my highs and lows were connected. Like if I was somewhere having a great time, when I knew it was near the end, I would get real low, like when the party was over or the concert was about to be done, you know. So now that I'm on Abilify and with the idea of it being bipolar, I've been focusing way more on balance. And after the first couple weeks, which were not great, my body getting used to it, I was shaky and stuff. But now that I'm on it, I've been in a pretty balanced state where I can have highs and look out for lows.
That makes sense. And that's kind of what you have to do is try to find the highs. But something that's really hard to do when all you see are lows. You know, when you have a hard time separating the two and realizing that there is an other side of the coin. Let's face it, if you're looking at a coin, you're only seeing the side that's facing you, even though it has two. Anthony,
flip it.
What you said in your video, which is actually really, really smart, is to flip decision. This whole channel, this whole thing was created on flipping energy like that. Taking depression and flipping it into a positive energy to try to relate to other people to see that, again, they are not alone. Anthony, I know you've dealt with moments before where you've been feeling depressed and down. I got a few more comments for Carlin, too, in a moment.
This is supposed to be a relaxed Sunday, easygoing conversation.
It's whatever it wants to be, my friend. It's whatever pops up. That is this show. It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, before it was going to get serious a little bit. So
He did. I just
you want to, it hits you harder when it first it happens like that. So how have you handled it when you get in those situations? Obviously, I'm talking to you from what I understand. You've never gotten to the low point. Is there something?
I normally just have to mentally smack myself and tell me to stop being silly. I guess, because I've got a good life, right? Got a good job, got a house, got a dog, got friends. So when I do get into the low points, I just kind of have to stop and say, you're being silly. Look at everything you do have, look at all the good that's happening, and focus more on that.
Carlin, welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Hope women are allowed. They're absolutely allowed. We actually used to have a lot more women on the channel, but it was more women than men for like the first half of the since we've been around. And
Still, I started commenting, and then they all left. So yeah.
yeah. Bill showed up and he scared all the women away. No, basically they're going to be back too. They just coincidentally, it was most of the women that had other things going on. Oh, Carolyn. I'm sorry, Carolyn. They had other things going on, but they're going to be back probably later this month. We'll start seeing a few of them back on here. Women are absolutely welcome. Everybody is welcome.
Everybody.
On this show, no matter who you are. Carolyn also says she has to depend on others to shop for her, and she doesn't like to go outside alone. And these other people that you depend on shopping for, this is a question I'm really curious about, because this is where I have a problem dealing with stuff like this. Does it make you more depressed having other people shop for you? Or do they help to make you feel comfortable that they're doing it? Like, do you feel you're a burden on them or not? Because my biggest thing is asking for help is not to be a burden on other people, even though those people are more than willing to help me out in any way they can.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel as well. It's hard. It's a hard line to, because you know they would do it at the drop of a hat, but I don't want to drop my hat.
Well, I'm one to yell at people and say, look, I'm here to help you. Call me if you need help.
Yeah.
But I won't call anyone if I need help.
Yeah, we're really conceited beings as humans out there half the time, because we believe we would do this for other people. We get upset that you would think of us as a burden. Like, come on, we're here for you. But we fail to ever see that somebody else could feel the way we do. No matter what.
Well, you have so many people out there that have depression and have anxiety, and they don't want to take the medication for it because they don't want to be known for having it.
Right.
Yeah, I've been feeling a lot of stigma.
I
Hell of a
feel
lot of stigma.
I definitely am one who's always fought against medications. I have. And I do believe they do good. But especially when it comes to me taking them or me needing something to level me out, I'm like, no, my brain can do this. I'm capable of it. The human brain can accomplish so many things. This is one of the things it can do. And it doesn't always work that way for people.
It doesn't, because I thought the same thing. I thought, you know what, I don't need any medication. I don't need to do anything. But when you get in fights and you go to jail like 4 times in 2 months and they're ready to put you in prison, then I started taking the medication and stuff like that. And I told my lawyer, and he's like, your doctor put you on this? And I was diagnosed with depression. Boom. That was my case in court. And my lawyer said, Judge, he's had depression and anxiety, and he's doing this, and this is going on, and now he's doing this. And all I got after the end of it, instead of doing 3 years, was 6 months probation.
Yeah.
Angela's here. She says she's been feeling super down lately. Angela, please tell us what's going on, Angela. We love to talk to you about it. Believe me, I've also been feeling very, very down and depressed lately. And most people, close friends, might know it, but most people do not. They cannot see that. So tell me what's going on. And Carolyn says she's not scared. Well, that's good. That's good, because a lot of times for people it is scared. It is being scared. It is being afraid of certain things that keeps them trapped and keeps them so far down and afraid to go out or go do something or rely on others in any way. And it's really hard for them to do that. And the bad thing is that what spirals it. That's exactly what ends up spiraling it. Because now you're not only depressed about what you thought you were depressed about, which also I'd like to add, most of the time we don't even know why we're so depressed. We don't know the reasons why it's happening. Now we're adding on top of it that our friends aren't going to like us if we do this. They're not going to want to help us. Wait, they're not helping us. We have no friends. Wait, they're just being, and it just,
exactly
it
right.
piles on so much, and it's adding heaps and mounds of dirt on top of us.
But it's all up
And
here.
you don't want your friends to know about it.
And you're
You feel
so
like that.
you're so right, Brandon. It's all
You
up
feel
here.
like that. You don't want your friends to know about it, and you try to act good in front of your friends, but you still have your problems. Me dealing with the depression and the anxiety, my anxiety was I wanted to go do something, and I couldn't go do it. And whenever I couldn't go do it, then I got really, really stressed. And whenever I got stressed, then I'd have a fit, and then all of a sudden, my depression kicked in, and I just wanted to go hide in my room.
Yeah. But
they twist
like,
out, and you don't want your friends to know about that, especially your good friends. You
Yeah.
try to avoid it. You
Well,
try
you
to say
think-
something, oh, it's something else.
you know when you're about to have like one of those confrontational conversations with somebody, and you go through it in your head over and over, and that's why you don't want to do it, and you finally like, all right, here we go, and you start the conversation that goes way better than what was in your head, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what all of this is.
It's the
just
hindsight thing too.
figuring it out.
It's the fear of what it's going to be. You fear if, I mean, to put it simply, I fear if my friends know I'm human, they're not going to like me. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. Don't say it, Anthony.
You want to be superhuman in front of your friends,
Correct.
and then if they think that you're something different and that you're, you know, it's like mortality. You think that you don't want to, you want to be immortal in front of your friends sometimes, and then if they think you're mortal, then all of a sudden you have different ideas in your head about
Right.
how they think about you.
I'm the backbone. I'm the strength. I'm the one that can carry through. I'm the one who's always right. I'm the one who has all the answers. If they see me as... I don't want to hear it. My leg still hurts from trying to crack your back. Okay, so aside from this story, before we continue, because again, I've cracked everybody's back my whole life. We're at the bar. I'm with Anthony over here, and he's like, "Can you crack my back?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem." Well, Anthony's my height. He's not as big as me, but my height. He's a heavy guy too. So I looked, and just as I got him up like this, slipping, and we're just going backwards, and bam, we went down so hard. It hurt so bad.
It must have been a funny ass sight though, because it felt like we were moving in super slow motion on the way down.
It
Just
did.
like the
It did.
slowest
I like remember everything and turning around,
Slowest
looking at the
fall.
like, where am I going to fall? But but that's part of the superhuman thing. I believe I can do anything. I don't want to be viewed as the person that can't. I have been for everybody my whole life, and it's really, really scary. We've got quite a few comments coming in right now. Carolyn says, my boyfriend has taken care of my dad for over a month, so it's been a lot lately. And my boyfriend is only one person, and he's all I have. Later she commented, but I don't have any friends. If you'll have us, you've got 4 new ones right here. We are always happy to be here for you, Carolyn, about anything. You can literally talk about anything on here. There's no judgments. There should be no fear, anything like that. Because we will put ourselves out there 100%. If you've seen some of the shows or you go through see some ones in the past, there's no topic off limits. Really. And she's very sad and lonely today too. And is there any particular reason why today is worse than the other ones? And see if this works for me. I need support. I hope it does. It's just we're a group that talks. We're not necessarily professionals, but we go through these things. And if you
talk
don't
to yourself,
have
you're not
people,
professional.
we don't like professionals. But
I don't know
That's why
what
we
I don't know what a professional at that, but you know,
but we're real people that go through these things a lot of times, that if any one of us were alone with our thoughts sometimes, it could be a lot worse.
fun.
Yeah.
well, Keith, going back to your superhuman thing, you know, when you want to tell, you know, your friend, you're the guy that, you know, always take care of your friend and stuff like that. Now, you know, I'm 39 years old. So I try to tell the girls now. No one said anything about 39. I love that. I'm 58 years old, and it's like I tell the girls, I bounce at the bars forever. I mean, I bounced at Kelly's until just, you know, a couple years ago. But I try to tell the girls all the time. I said, I'm old now. I said, don't get me wrong. I will protect you. I will do what I have to do. I don't give a shit. But as far as going out and taking care of everyone else when something happens, it's maybe not going to happen, or else I'm going to get my neck broke or whatever, you know.
Yeah, you're going to hurt yourself in the process to be that person you always have wanted to be and always wanted to stay being. Angela says in response...
And what the people think you ought to be, even though you're getting older, you know.
Well, they're so
That's-
used to seeing you as a certain image, and you feel like you have to uphold that.
And that's
as
that
long as you
superhuman
can.
thing. That's what I mean. You're that
That's
person.
why I've told him lately. That's why I've told him lately. I said, I'm not that guy anymore. I said, you can call my son. He's 2 inches taller than me. He weighs 245 pounds, and his arms are fucking 25 inches around. Call him.
got his number? I might.
We can put the number right up here. Call now. I was like,
Got a new bodyguard.
Well, you know,
Angela,
the scary thing is, his wife will kick his ass. So there it is, and that's on it.
you got to fear them. Angela says, I think it's because it's a month from my ex's birthday. He died in November. He died in January. I think she meant his birthday's in November, and he died in January. And yeah, you say it's a month. I'm going to bring this up a little bit, Angela, because I'm curious. You say it's a month till his birthday, and he died in January, and it is October, which is like 4 months away. So you've got at least a 4 month window here. Is this something that is actually more ongoing rather than just this month? Because you're not close. It seems like this is an ongoing thing. How long have you been trying to get rid of this problem? Or have you been trying to constantly mask it with something else? She says, compounded with lots of money problems, stresses because the holidays are coming. Again, down the road. This is one thing I get. This is part of the commercialism of the world right now, and it has been for the last, 20, 30 years. It's gotten worse and worse. That holidays are starting sooner. And because how much the people are advertising holidays and how much they're pushing Christmas in August, starting that stuff and carrying it on all the way, we are feeling pressured as a society. Not even necessarily people who are depressed to that point, but those who are depressed are feeling worse from it. Because we're now constantly thinking about holidays. Angela, it's fucking October. It's Halloween. It's a great month to remember. And it's so foreshadowed by people having thoughts about Christmas and how they're going to pay for stuff and how they're going to get through. They forget to enjoy what's coming up. What's right in front of them. What's right there.
It's all Ace Hardware's fault.
They started it. They started it.
They did.
I know.
Seriously. So,
I know.
the one over here at 9 and Ryan, what was it? The last day of September, they started putting out Christmas shit.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
was gonna blame WNIC back in the day, but
Oh,
And I walked
They
in
at least
there
wait.
and I was talking to the guy about a socket, and I said, what the fuck is with the Christmas shit? He goes, it's what our bosses tell us to do.
it's all about the money.
That's what it is. But it stresses us out. And people say they don't want to see Christmas, they don't want to hear Christmas. It's not because always a hatred of Christmas. It's literally about, I don't need this pressure on me right now. We already know come Black Friday through January 6th, it's going to be hell doing anything. So don't
But
worry
especially
about
now with the pandemic been going on for 2 fucking years again, still. Are they going to have the money to buy Christmas presents? They're going to have this. I mean, what's going on and stuff, and people get stressed.
Carolyn says, I am to the point now that she can't hide this anymore, and she's actually telling it out loud. And
That's
that's
good.
the number one best thing you can do. Because
That's step one.
the thing, we try to convince ourselves we can solve the problem. As I just said, I convinced myself 100 times that in my head I'm able to solve any problem. But you are trying to get help when you're telling things in your head from the thing with the problem, your head. So again, you're just causing a cycle in there. You're not being able to help it. Getting it out there, first of all, it's a stress relief for you. It's a chance to get some of that pressure down from thinking that nobody's out there, nobody will listen, nobody will understand. When you get that voice back and you see those ears open for you, that's when you start to feel a little lifted, a little bit better. There are people out there for you. There's always somebody to hear you, and your voice matters. No matter who you are or where you are, your voice and your opinions matter, especially to us.
And that's the thing too, is when you're going down, like, you ever play the Lemmings? You got that axe dude that just keeps going at an angle. Once you say something out loud, that's the axe guy finally hitting the ladder. It goes up a lot faster.
I would
than
totally
it
say
goes
you're
down.
showing your age right now with the Lemmings reference, but you're the youngest one on the panel. I was like,
I like oldies.
Carolyn says, thank you. And this is me, the real name, the real me,
Hell
Carolyn. I'm very happy to meet you, Carolyn. She says, my favorite doctor retired. I'm sorry to hear that, but also happy for him. I mean, think about how many people he's helped his entire life. And if he was
Dr.
your
House
favorite.
retired? No.
But yeah, doctor house. You go into doctor's
He's
house.
my favorite doctor.
He's a doctor.
But there's people that rely on their doctors so much.
Yeah.
It's like it is their life. That's in a sense for a lot of people, and I don't know if this is Carolyn's issue, but their doctor is kind of a therapist too, because they don't necessarily go to the doctor to get solutions to their problems, but they trust the doctor enough to talk about anything while they're there. People say they go to the doctor and you get these old ladies, and I don't think Carolyn's one of these old ladies, but that they just talk. It's because they got somebody to listen that shows interest in it, and they got a chance to get it out there. But it isn't reserved for old ladies or old men. It's for people. We all need that. Carolyn also says, I was always that okay people pleaser. Not anymore. I just got used and abused. I would like to get back with that in a minute here. Okay, 'cause
Yeah. Huh?
that's when I'm gonna come back to that in a moment. Actually, Carolyn, because I want to.
Oh, that's not going to be for the sex show? I thought you were going to say something stupid like, no.
That's possible too. But no, that's been a show. Literally, our very first show, Big Heart Heavy Mind, was based on that aspect. Angela says, I've been talking to his friends about a party for him, and since I'm the only one who has the space for everyone, I was assuming you're going to have the party on that one. Is it something you want to do? Some people believe the celebration of life is a good thing, to have the party in their memory. For some people, it is not a comfortable thing. And being that this was your boyfriend, somebody as close to you as he was, do what makes you comfortable. Don't put yourself in a situation that you're not if it's at your house. If you want to go to the party, go ahead. If you're okay with doing it, though, then accept it as a celebration of life. What do you guys think?
Yeah, really ask yourself, like, honestly, maybe look in the mirror and do the whole cliche. That's why they do it in the movies. It's really helpful. Like, literally talk to yourself for a second, be like, do you want to do this or not? And the answer will come pretty easily.
It sucks so bad when things become cliche because people don't want to do them.
Yeah.
You know, when it's like looking at the mirror and telling yourself, or rehearsing in a mirror, or picturing an audience naked, or whatever it happens to be.
Still
That's
haven't
the
done that
solution.
one.
I've never done that one either, but I've heard it works, and I'm like, it probably won't. I can think of a lot of ways that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like being on a stage in front of people or anything like that, but I have never resorted to picturing everyone. I
Yeah.
just think it would make it worse.
Yeah, because you have to address that.
If you're
And they don't know that
uncomfortable
you're
about
thinking
being in
that.
front of people, it would
That's
be a little
enough.
more awkward if they were all naked. It wouldn't
Yeah, oh,
really
yeah.
make things better.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the cliches like that, cliches that makes us not want to do it because it's so cliche. We think it's a joke almost, and it's not. The whole mirror thing, the whole asking yourself questions and talking to yourself, and that's really important to do. Who's going to answer how you feel better than yourself? But if you fail to ever ask, you fail to even give the answer to yourself. So you got to talk to somebody, and if there's not another group of people there in that situation that you're trying to figure out whether you should go or not, is it really what you want? Is it going to help you? Weigh the aspects, the positives, the negative. Whichever comes out on top, go with that one. Carolyn says, this is the time, autumn. Fall is when I had my first major nervous breakdown, heart pounding, fetal position. That was over 20 years ago. Sound familiar, Brandon?
Yeah. She remembers. 20 years later? Man, this is going to be a long road.
So she said it was her first one, and 20 years ago doesn't mean, and I can't speak for her, but 20 years doesn't mean 20 years of straight depression. But you just remember that first one, and sometimes it's like being an alcoholic or smoking or anything like that. There's going to be times you're going to fall off the wagon if you try quitting, and you're always going to remember the first time you did. And every time you don't, it's going to become harder. And with the depression thing, that was her first one she had. Now, she could have had a lot of great times in the middle. That first one's going to stick with her, and when she has another one, it brings it all back like it never left. And anybody who's been an alcoholic and drinking relates to that too.
Yeah.
And that's the first one that she remembers, that she knows of, that she's realized.
Was aware of, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Carolyn says, back to Truth, she says that she don't want presents. Well, yes, I need a laptop so I can work from home. She's on disability with the holiday and the Christmas thing. And she says, thank you. I come from a big family, and I'm the baby. We're like the Brady Bunch, but not. We are dysfunctional. The Brady
Broken
Bunch
home.
was more dysfunctional than I think the average viewer realized.
Yeah.
The show, you mean? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. The family. And you're welcome. Angela says, I do want to do it, but we've been talking about it so much that he's so heavy on my mind lately. I would try to suggest, this is my personal suggestion, and I'll ask the panel, of course, their personal opinions too. But I would suggest almost taking the people who are trying to put this together and say, hey, I'm cool with letting it happen. I'm cool with this night going on, but can you guys please plan the details on your own? Can you please work it out, figure everything out on your own? And I mean, you're welcome. We'll have it here, and that'll be great. I just don't want to constantly think about it. One of those friends, I'm sure, is going to be willing to work with you on that, and I would try to get it out, unless you guys got a better suggestion or something they should do.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
that-
nothing
that's-
better.
I can't think of
That's why
anything.
you got the back and shoulders.
That's why
It's like,
up there.
I don't
The
mean it.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, we need like 5 more people, and we could have the whole Brady Bunch panel on here. Carolyn says her mom passed away, and everyone changed. She was the glue and humor, but she's here because sometimes I will be bawling, and I remember something hilarious she would say. Oh, Carolyn, if you pop on here more often, we're going to have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
We really are. There's a lot I can relate to. I'm going to get back to your other time, as well, your other comment as well, but
Maybe
I
time
want to get to this one too.
Start rolling over on some topics from. This show's been going on a long time.
Yeah, we've been doing it for over a year now. Finally, but my mom passed away in 2009, and it was very, very unexpected. It was around the holidays, and it's something that I still, in the middle of the night, for some reason, I will just start. I will cry myself. I will get upset. I will wake up in the morning and scream. I cannot remember the last time I ever dreamed and had a dream she wasn't in. Like every single dream, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Unfortunately, the one thing in common is I remember she's dead in every dream. Even if she's alive, like I'm thinking in the dream, but you're dead. And it's a weird feeling, and it's something I'm constantly fighting against. But you're right about remembering something funny or remembering a smile. And it does pull you back, and they're there to, and they're right, they are here in a way. They're helping pull you out of that.
Gotta get a coin.
Oh, you're going to use that then the analogy with yours and all that?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I like it.
Did you see the coin? There it
Yeah,
is.
but I can't see where it landed.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's all the flip of a coin. It is when it happens. She says she wished she could play instruments and be in a band, but I can't play, but it would be cool. Can you sing? You know, there's one.
We got the drums. We got the guitar.
Tambourine, I mean,
This is all
find.
for show.
Oh, that's what it was, too.
Oh, maracas.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to play anything,
All
and
for show.
yeah, he just likes to look cool. That's a green screen behind him.
Like the girl comes over, like, "Oh my god, what are you gonna play for me?" And you're like, "Oh
No.
crap."
That's why it's all tucked away in an office.
Is well, you
Alan
can always do
Harper,
something.
Alan
Find
Harper pretending to be Charlie, so I'll play the piano.
Yeah, I just use these to hold my hats.
Oh, that's a good idea. I need to get a drum set.
I actually do it.
Hold your
hi-hats.
hats.
Yeah.
The hi hats hold the hats really well. It's cool. They're all like spread out for me.
I need to get hats. Or-
I would suggest possibly looking into like a Blue Oyster Cult cover band, because there's one thing those can always use, and it's easy to play. It's more cowbell.
I have a cowbell.
Just saying, that's what you need.
What's always been big
Banjo.
around here in this area is Alice Cooper cover band. So just saying.
I don't know where Carolyn's from, but yeah, Alice Cooper, because we're in the Detroit area, and sometimes on this show, by the way, Carolyn, we are all local right now, but we have people from all over the country occasionally. Just sometimes, especially our Sundays, tend to be a little more local people who are on the show, but we get people from all over. It's
What
not
happened
just
to that
us.
guy from England? Where'd he go?
He's still here sometimes. I don't see him today, but he's usually on here somewhere. Carolyn says, "I'm not having one right now. She's talking about a breakdown because I refuse to get that low. It's scary as hell. But that's the strength you need to find. To know how deep it can go is the only way you know how to pull yourself out of it. Because if you're still consistently falling and you don't think there's going to be a bottom and you don't think you're going to land, you're never going to grab onto something to pull yourself back. Brandon, you seem to disagree. Go ahead.
I would suggest trying to flip one small thing. Something that you just feel super low about. Just try and reverse how you think about it. Like, go, man, like, I really hate how my toilet seat gets stuck, whatever. And then go like, well, at least I'm gonna know it's gonna stay in place, you know,
At least you have
it's
a
stuck.
toilet.
Yeah, at least you have a toilet. That's a much better flip. See, I'm still new at my own ideas.
That's not even a bad idea in any way. I mean, because that's really smart. If you fix one small thing, every time, and toilet's actually a great example, because every single time you go in there, you see something you did.
Watch
You
Carolyn's
see
gonna be
something
like,
you
I don't
made
have
better.
a toilet, so
Well, she did mention the Brady Bunch, and they don't have toilets. I was like,
They don't?
no, there was no toilet in the bathroom of the Brady Bunch. You never knew that.
I never watched it.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the big things. Brady Bunch did not have a toilet. We don't want to know how it happened.
It's like the Munchers. You never saw them go to the bathroom.
Well, they were dead. Carolyn says 3 years panicking
So
because I had to go to school. I clung to the kitchen sink and it was gagging. For 3, was that like a daily thing? Every day you had to deal with that? You know, for 3 years going to school. So this has been something that's been going on for a long time. I'm really. I know you said you had your first 20 years ago. Have you had good days of having it under control, or good time periods of having it under control, where even though obviously by talking to you now, I'm sure it's not over, but where you think you've gotten through the worst of it? Are there good periods to remember? And Brandon's particularly asking because Brandon himself is going through something like this right now.
yeah,
And it's his first.
My first step had to be breathing, especially because not only was I going through the panicking and like racing thoughts, I was also on this new medication that the side effect until my body was used to it was violent shaking. So I was panicking and shaking, so I was just stuck. And it was a very rough time. So the first thing and only thing that I could flip at that time was breathing. So
If you flip breathing, aren't you not breathing?
sometimes
not
I was so
breathing,
tense I wasn't breathing. I had to go, oh, okay,
Oh,
breathe.
that's good choice. Okay. Okay. Angela says, I think his cousin will be willing to do most of the work as far as that goes. Well, that's who you should talk to then. I think just let him know, honestly, that it's so much weight on my shoulders right now. I know it's going to happen, but stop asking me or talking to me about it for the moment. Let me,
Honesty.
do it, and we'll have it. Because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, Brandon's probably guilty of this, Bill, Anthony probably as well, we don't tell people anything. And in the other people out there, in their heads, everything is great. There's no issue with what they're doing. They'd be more than happy to fix a problem, yet we don't know the problem's there. We don't let them know that the problem is there to begin with.
Well, because there can't be a problem.
well, I tell everything after the fact. So
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20 kind of thing.
Yeah. Carolyn says she sees your keyboard. I have one like that. I should try to play it again. I can't read music, but you do it by ear. Same with me. I'd like to learn to play the keyboard, and I can definitely. Shut up,
Sorry,
Anthony.
I got excited.
No, I actually do play the keyboard, Carolyn, but I mess with Anthony all the time.
I found
that, and I do it by
YouTube
ear.
thing.
Go
I
ahead.
found a YouTube thing that does it like Guitar Hero. It brings the notes and the keys down like Guitar Hero style. It's sweet.
And I can't read sheet music, and I've seen those things. Those are pretty cool. I actually have used them to try to learn certain songs that I just can't quite find because I've always played by ear.
Yeah.
And I can't read sheet music, and that's the one thing. I can read it, but it's going to take me an hour to get through like 10, 20 seconds of the song to figure out what I'm supposed to play. I can't sight read, basically. But yeah, definitely start playing because I still have my keyboard, and when nobody's around primarily, if I get in my moods and I get depressed or anything like that, I'll sit down in front of that and I'll just play. And I'll play shit that is not a song. It's just being created as I'm going. You know, just sometimes it's relaxing, sometimes it's intense and evil and strong. It just depends on what I want to do at the time, but it's creation. And when you get your mind working in a creative mode, at least for me, it tends to perk the rest of my life up and everything else going around me. It tends to perk it up because my mind gets creative. My mind starts thinking of the positive aspects of things. And drums would be fun for sure. Good place to keep your hat.
Yeah, no notes, or very few notes.
Angela says, I remember the stupid turkey noise that Shy used to make, and it makes me think of the face he made. It makes me smile. Those memories are what people need to hang on to, honestly. And that's what it is. We have no idea what his face was. Brandon's hoping he hit it just now.
Yeah, I feel like that was a mistake. I tried.
Carolyn says, drums are fucking expensive. Oh my god, they are expensive. Oh my god, they are completely. But most musical instruments are. Yeah, when you get the good ones, pretty much with all of them. Hell, if you want a tambourine, you can spend $300 on one. It's for what they call a good one.
Shit's expensive.
I know. Angela's here. She says she's not local. She's on North Carolina or South Carolina. I can never remember which. And Carolyn says, by the way, back to flipping and seeing the positive things. When she put that comment, it's, oh, believe me, I've done this. And it definitely could be worse. And having done it is one thing. Continuing to do it's the most important. Remembering to continue to do it. Again, once we start spiraling, it's hard to pull ourselves out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got these women on here that are commenting. You need them on the panel Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, wait. This is Carolyn's
the show
first
Wednesday?
time. Angela has joined us
you
on the
need 'em
panel
on a
before.
Wednesday. You need them on a panel Wednesday so that I can see them.
Getting kind of bossy getting bossy like a man.
See, now that's Bill for you, Carolyn. That's why we lost our women. Okay. And we get them in the chat, just on the panel. They'll be back. It's just periodically we haven't had as many lately. Sometimes it works either way. Sometimes the women will outweigh. There's always at least one guy because I'm on every show. But other than that, sometimes I'm with all women. Sometimes I mix. Sometimes all guys.
And we'll explain at some point how to.
Yeah. Carolyn says, I hated, once I'll get to that in a second. I hated school from day one. My mom also was agoraphobic, so I learned to be nervous. Is that a learned thing? I legitimately asking, I did not know that. Is that something almost a hereditary type thing?
Most of my habits and like what I do around the house came from just how my parents did it. So
well, habits,
It may not
but
be hereditary. It may be an applied thing. If your parents are agoraphobic and they keep you inside all the time, then you grow up that way.
right.
Carolyn says, I'm on good meds now, so I'm okay. It's just lonely as hell. I'm right there with you. Angela's right there with you on that one. I can't. Brandon lives with his girlfriend, and he's like that. Because we talked about it before, the fact that it doesn't matter who's around you, you can be extremely lonely and depressed sometimes. Yeah. But that's where you find people just to talk to and open up and be yourself. And that's what we like to do here. And sometimes it's hard for us, and sometimes it's just what we need. I know it helps bring me back. I don't know about you, Brandon.
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
Carolyn says her favorite class was choir, and so you're definitely somebody who likes music. So yeah, you know what? Go sit in front of that keyboard. That's whoa, that was a big change. All right, there we go. Anthony had to step away from it. He didn't warn me, so it just switched fuse really quick. Like that. But yeah, music's definitely the answer for a lot of things. I'm sure you do that already. But yeah, get that piano going. It gives you something to do. It's like finding a hobby. Some people back in the old days did stamp collecting or weird shit like that, or Bill did rock collecting. It's just things you can do to keep yourself occupied. And when you involve creativity, it gets even better. I'm also a computer programmer, and sometimes I will program the most meaningless crap that I won't even finish because I'm depressed, because it gives me an outlet. Yeah. Gives me somewhere to put that positive energy. And for you, the way you're talking music, I think getting back on that keyboard or maybe seeing about investing in a set of drums is going to be worth it.
It was awesome.
Yeah, Guitar Heroes. Oh, we had so many fun parties at my house with Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all that. That was close. Well, North, damn it. I know, I'm going to do it every time, Angela, you know that. Carolyn says, oh, so not everyone can see this. Everybody can see the chat. You can actually join in on the panel, like you can just call into the show anytime by going to earshouldervoice.com/join. And when you do that, you can either be a video panelist, or you can just choose to join by audio and talk to us that way. But as far as the chat, everybody can see the chat and we'll respond. Everybody on the panel can see the chat as well. And comments, yes. And let me move on. And you're welcome. And moving away, Angela says, moving away from all my family and friends was very hard. I still haven't really made many friends in the 7 years I've been here. It does get very lonely. Angela, you move, 5 states, maybe it's 6 states away. And whether it's north or south, I'm not sure.
Geographic's hard.
Yeah, geographic hard. But it doesn't have to be that far. I literally moved 20 miles. And it doesn't even have to be that far. And I feel so lonely. A part of it is because you look back and you're like, my friends are not willing to make the trip up here. Now, all your new friends that you might get, a 20, 30-minute drive is no problem for them. I know you're further away than that, but I'm saying even close by. But your old friends will make a 20-minute drive. And that'll take you down a few pegs, too. That'll make you feel pretty depressed. Carolyn also, yeah, it's just sitting there, her keyboard. Well, if it's just sitting there, give it some use. Don't let it just sit there. It needs use. You don't want to be an Anthony. We used to say, don't Anthony your instrument, but people took a way different meaning for that. So we don't say that anymore.
Not even gonna lie though, it's been so long that when I first picked up my guitar today, I almost for a second, like, it felt weird playing. Just a side note.
It is. No, well, that's when I say.
It had been that long that I picked it up and I'm playing. I'm like, why? It's not working.
Like noodle fingers?
Yeah, just nothing made sense.
So it's something similar to that Anthony doesn't actually know on this, because everybody says, oh, you can play, you don't play. When I was 12 years old, my gift from my dad or stepdad was he built a piano for me, or rebuilt a piano, stained and everything like that, and I kept that for a long time. And as much as he was not a great guy, as we found out in other shows, he was the one who embraced my gift of being able to play. Like, I took an interest and he was right there with me. And my mom used to sing along while I played.
Wow.
So since my mom has passed away and my stepdad has passed away, I didn't play for a very long time. And I finally decided it was time to buy another keyboard when I moved in the house I'm currently in right now. And I'm still trying to get myself to play without getting flashbacks to the ones who got it for me, and the ones who got it in for me, and, playing songs for my mom and not hearing her voice sing it in the background. So it gets really hard for different reasons to end up playing and keeping things going like that. But keep trying, because when I do, I feel great about it, and I have to do it alone. And where I was going with that is because what happens is Anthony will come over, or friends like, you play, and my answer is no. I don't. I don't know how.
You pulled that shit on me.
But then every once in a while, I decide to go.
Beautiful music everywhere. For like 30 seconds, and then he stopped. He's like, I don't know how to play. And stuck to that the rest of the night.
And honestly, that's why.
No, it makes sense.
It does. But most people, I don't bring up that stuff because, like I said, we're superheroes.
Yeah, I'm still going to bring up you needing to play every time I'm at your house.
Yeah, and sometimes you might get it. I will say it's October, it's Halloween. My neighbors hear that theme every single day coming out of that piano.
So just stop by randomly. Okay.
Yeah. Gabe here says, keep up the beer, looking good on you. Howdy, fellas. How you doing, Gabe?
Hello, Gabe.
Carolyn says, not an apartment for the drums.
get a digital set.
Yeah.
They make them pretty.
Yeah,
fancy
you can get the
nowadays.
digital set, you can get the headphones, and
Yeah, those I almost pulled the trigger when I was in the apartment, but I
I'm
waited.
thinking about getting a digital set just because
Right.
it would be fun. Because you can put any sound you want to them.
Yeah,
How
it's
fun would that be?
oh, I was so close, but I'm glad I waited.
And Gabriel also, moving on to Gabriel here, he said, I had a very hard time getting back on the horse after my cousin died. My daughter helped me get back into it. How did she help you? Oh, you're talking about getting back on from the music. Okay. So, and that's the same thing. When somebody dies, it makes you reevaluate everything. When my mom first passed away in 2009, I didn't want to work. I didn't want to run karaoke. I didn't want to do anything because I had realized I thought I was doing almost everything I was doing to make her proud. And when I no longer had that person to make proud, I didn't even want to do anything anymore. It was like you understand the reason of giving yourself a reason to live, the reason you do the things you do. And it doesn't have to be a parent. It can be a best friend. It can be anybody that impacts your life, a family member, a cousin. Anybody that impacts your life. When you lose them, it makes it so hard to continue. But it's that time you turn around for me and realize that's what they want from me. That is honoring and making them proud. Is to continue the life, because the last thing anybody wants is your life to go on the decline because they can't be there anymore. And anybody who asks themselves that same question, they'll know that's truth. Because it's the last thing I would want. I'm pretty sure it's the last thing either one of you would want.
Right.
Angela says, I have to go pick up Elena from her friend's house. I enjoy talking to you guys. All right, Angela, we enjoy talking to you. Have a good one. Hope things get better. We're always here to talk. You can also talk to us. You can talk to me, too, anytime, because we've talked before. So, a little bit. So, have a good night. Feel free anytime to contact us on there. Good night, Angela. So I want to go back now to the comment, of course, because I promised her I would get back to it, and I'm going to right now, which was, I'm not even going to go to it, because I remember what it was. It's that I used to be that person that did for everybody, and she said, no more, I'm not doing it anymore, because all people is use and abuse. And congratulations, Carolyn, because I still haven't learned that fucking lesson. I'm an idiot. That's all I do. And I have had people use, rob, steal, cheat, do whatever they got to do, and almost everybody I help. Like, they could be the greatest person in the world. The minute I start helping them out, they become the lowest form of life. It seems to me. And they will do anything to take advantage of me, and I get so tired of being hurt like that. And we'll get back to that in a minute. Carolyn, just let us know when you're done. She said she's getting a phone call. And go ahead and take that call, Carolyn, and hopefully we'll see you again in a moment. So before we continue on that, so other things we wanted to bring up on tonight's show, which are very important, is bacon. I was like, it was in the comments. We needed to talk about bacon, so we're going to talk about bacon. I hate bacon. So
What the hell is wrong with you?
I knew that was coming.
Bacon is going to be the food that keeps everyone alive.
You know, taking yourself out of the picture, Anthony, does not stop you from seeing me.
Fine.
Bacon's
It
going to
makes
be
it
the
look
food
like
to
I
keep
laughed.
everyone alive when Armageddon or martial law comes up. So, boom.
Is it? All right, thick cut or thin cut? Let's talk, because
Thick cut.
yeah, okay.
Okay,
Not too thick.
if you're
though.
gonna, if
No,
martial
but
law
are we, like,
goes in
crispy
or
or
Armageddon
chewy?
goes in, you're gonna cut the bacon any
I
way
like it a
you
little
want it.
crispy.
You like
So, there it is.
crispy?
Yeah, cut the bacon
Okay.
any way you want. That's a
You're
good
wrong.
point.
You're wrong. It still has to flex when you eat it. So there it is.
I like a little bit. Yeah. I don't like.
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
No.
Yeah.
What about all the flavored crap?
Here's the other thing is, so if you can eat bacon when it's on the rawer side, more raw, all right, you're going to live longer, because when everything happens and stuff like that, you can eat anything. Boom. There you go, Anthony.
It's the first
It's
time I've
bacon,
ever
though.
heard that. Normally, it's the opposite.
I find that
I
to
do
be
like
true.
bacon if it's less cooked.
I find that to
I
be
do.
absolutely true. I agree
forgot you're
with
over here.
that fact about any foods, but when
Damn
it's
it.
bacon, it's bacon.
Bacon makes everything better.
You can.
Yeah.
All right. So, hillbilly. All right. Smokehouse down south. Stuff hanging in there for years. All right. They just smoke it. It's not cooked. It's smoked. You
Oh,
go in
that's
there and cut
Smoking
it
is a
off.
form of cooking.
You go, yeah, well, it's not like that. In the old smokehouses down south, in my family's time, it was a very, very low fire. And then when the fire went out, they didn't give a shit. It just hung in there. My grandmother go in there and cut it out, and now cut it up, and I'll warm it up. And she just heated it in the pan, and you ate it. That's why Kathy and like Will look at me as like, you can eat anything. Because I make food and I leave it on the counter for 2 days and I'll still eat it. And they're like, you can't do that. I said, yes, I can. And that's why I'm going to live past you guys. If anything ever happens.
I feel like it's bacon though.
I don't like bacon.
So that I'm not that bad.
Well, no.
I like bacon
So
so
the
much
other thing,
that
too,
I'm
is-
gonna cook it to perfection, so that it can
You
be.
cook it
perfect.
the way you want it.
I like bacon.
Yes.
so
Oh, yeah.
much.
But
bacon,
if we're
hell,
talking
you
ham,
cheese
I'll
bread,
I'll eat a ham off the ground. But if it's
But
bacon,
the thing is, so you look at chicken, you have to cook chicken.
that's going.
If you don't cook chicken, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Or just smoke it.
Okay, he said something about smoked chicken, and I'm going back to when I was young in New York, when you walk down the streets and they like, guys want some chicken? I was like, oh my gosh, I'll kill you. I don't know if you guys know about that, what that was at that point in time, so.
I honestly got to say no.
I think I gotta get going,
Going through
guys.
the streets in New York, going through the streets in New York when I was 18 years old, 20 years old, and they said, hey, you guys want some chicken? It was, do you want a young boy and fuck him?
What?
And this
Oh,
was
yeah.
a problem for you. Okay.
Yeah, well, it was because they had little kids, so yeah. So
Is that why you don't
Way
like
too
bacon?
No, that was for chicken.
Oh God.
I actually do. I love to cook with bacon. I love the flavor bacon adds to things. I just don't like bacon itself.
I
don't like
bacon
pieces of bacon, strips of bacon.
I make potatoes and cheesy potatoes and add bacon to it, and all my friends think that's the greatest shit in the world.
Oh, it's great. And
Mac
that
and
stuff I
cheese,
like. Like, I will mix
chili,
bacon in with stuff. I will use
salads.
the grease to cook and flavor stuff. I just, bacon on its own, I don't like. I don't like strips of bacon.
I'm a guy that cooks bacon in my old bacon grease.
It
My
can be
mom
greasy.
used to do that. She used to save the grease for, I don't know, probably decades, and keep reusing it.
Yeah.
So you use
little
bacon
things.
grease? You use bacon grease to cook cream corn? It's great. A lot of
I've heard
people don't
about
like
that, but I
corn.
find cream corn gross.
It
It
tastes
is,
alright.
well, a lot of people think that. A lot of people
It
think
looks
cream
like-
corn's gross, but it tastes great when you put the bacon grease on. You have to have a cast iron. It's got to be cast iron. Put the bacon grease in there and warm up the cream corn in there, and you have that, and it's great. And then you have to have some cornbread, and, so.
Coming up on our
This is
next
making me
episode,
hungry.
Cooking with the King. It's so. What else we got besides bacon?
I don't know. I'm about to go get some.
I made pecan
guys
cobbler
later.
tonight at the
Have a
girl's house.
wonderful evening.
Are you leaving?
He's leaving.
He's gone.
Ain't
Oh,
going.
he legit left. Wow.
So I made pecan cobbler tonight at the girl's house here, at Kathy's house. So usually you just like put flour in it and shit like that, but I use graham cracker crust. And when they come home, I made a 9x13 pan, and I ate a 3x3 section out of it. It's the greatest shit in the world. And Kathy's gonna come home in about an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 9 hours, whatever she comes home. She's gonna eat all of it. Watch.
That's what happens when you get somebody that can cook in the house.
Yeah.
It gets eaten. Well, that's good. Well, it was definitely a deeper talk Sunday show, which was good. And
I
Brandon,
want to say something.
ahead.
Before you leave. Brandon, I feel for you, brother.
I appreciate it.
Honestly. All right? And
you just stole
If
my
you-
line.
shut up.
You
If you
legit
have
did.
anything for it, have anything going on with you, Like I said, if you can take the medication, I'm a guy. I don't take pain pills, anything like that. But I take my depression medication, and I take my medication for my anxiety. If it helps you, let it help you. All right.
Yep. That's where I'm at with
I
it.
gotta think
I
of
don't
something
push
new to
anyone
say.
in any way. I don't push anyone in any way to do anything like that. But I'm just saying, if you do it and it helps you, and if you're not doing it and you're having problems, then try it.
Yeah, I've had during this whole process, I had to become so self-aware that I'm always looking at how stuff affects me. So it's helping me. If it's just for right now or not, doesn't really matter, but it's helping me. So
Well, I
I'm
wanted
in
to
balance.
say as well, I did feel for you as well, but I got to think of a better line because Bill stole it literally word for word. Interrupted me to say it nonetheless. But anyway, but I agree with the medication thing, but also like he says, is be aware of the medications. I'm one who's kind of against medications, but there's certain ones, certain ways it can be very beneficial and
And
helpful.
you have to see how it works with you. So
But
I have migraines, right? And they gave me Brevely. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So I took that for a while.
that's something up there for
Well,
that.
my skin started peeling off.
Oh,
That's
And
a
it was
bad
for my
sign.
migraine. Yes. And my doctor didn't tell me that was one of the side effects with the other stuff that I was taking, right? And I still got a red mark in the middle of my head. And it took off the skin off my here. And I quit taking it. And when my skin was still peeling off my forehead and off my shoulders and shit, she told me, she's like, well, it's because you have so many pills in your system. And I said, why couldn't you know what it was? Why didn't you tell me this could be a possibility and then tell me if it started, stop? And my doctor's like, well, there's certain stuff because they tell you this side effects. And it was one of the major side effects. The other day I went to the doctor and she came up and she took a piece of skin off my forehead and she goes, I'm going to send it in to see what it is. I said, it's the fucking drugs I took that you gave me and didn't tell me it was good. So it's so much. It's so much. I mean, with everything with you take, like I said, I don't take pain pills. I won't. But you can take some stuff and it will help you, brother. Just saying.
yeah. My great grandma always didn't trust doctors and lived to be 101, but her doctors were 101 years ago. So I
Well,
kind
hey,
of trusted a little
my
more
mom's
now.
died. My mom's died. My great aunts. My mom died when she was 82. She has a great aunt down in Kentucky that's still alive, 119 years old.
Wow.
They can't prove her because she has no birth certificate. The other one
they
just
even make
passed
them back
away
then?
2 years ago.
Did they
She
even
was
make
number
birth
2.
certificates back then?
She was number 2 Social Security number. Two.
Right. And the other one, so it's Aunt Anthony and Aunt Griffey. And Griffey passed away last year. And she was older than her. But because the point in time that they were born, it was like born in a cabin, born in a house, and no real birth certificate. Stuff,
Nobody's
so.
smoking the bacon. Nobody...
Did you hear the? I don't know if anybody watched the news. Now they're saying the median age for this generation coming up is going to be around 130 years old.
Holy crap. I don't know
What?
if I
Say it
want
again?
that.
The average lifespan coming up is going to be about 130 years old for the current generation.
That's so many TikToks.
Yeah, right.
That's what they were saying. Actually, that's been a few reports came out. It's just been on the news. I mean, take
Donald
what you
Trump
will.
say that?
No. This is reputable. I'm sorry, that was wrong. We don't talk politics. I was like, but no. It's just that's what they were saying, and I was like, is that really how long we want to live? I look at these people that are 100 to 101, and they're probably happy to still be alive to a point. But you got to think a few more years, it's not going to last. I don't know about the 119-year-old, but
When you live 100 years old, as long as you got family around, it may be okay. You know what I'm saying?
if all goes well, you always will have family around.
Yeah.
So, But the thing is nowadays, even down south, you know, where they're always about family and shit like that, it's different. All my relatives are different. They don't talk to each other, and they live within miles of each other. They don't see each other anymore. And the older ladies, the aunts, the grandmothers, and stuff like that, they don't go talk to them.
So, Brandon, before we close out, because obviously you are the basis for a lot of the topic on the show here, and then definitely Carolyn and Angela, did you have, because you're going through it and because you think you're going through on a positive path now, or you're hoping to be at least, do you got any words you want to say, anything you want to give advice to people who are in, because you're definitely not alone in this situation, and you're kind of giving me advice as well, so.
Yeah, it would be super self-aware, but also be aware of being too aware of everything, if that makes sense. Let me explain. You can overdo it to the point where you're so nervous about how things are going to affect you that you freeze. And I went through that for a little bit between when I made the video and now. So
how do you stop thinking about that?
Self-awareness is good, but
that's right.
You also have to realize and let yourself live. So
right.
That's where I'm at right now.
Well, no, that's actually good because, like I say, it's the people we never realize. Right. I mean, come on. As much as you've been on this show prior to your current situation, nobody here would have guessed that just knowing you as you normally were.
And let me say
obviously you let
right?
things out on the show, but
well, you guys wouldn't know if I didn't know. So
that's actually not true. A lot of, if you're lucky, you'll have those certain people out there that can see that.
That is true.
Like I said, you see somebody really happy, ask them what's wrong.
He seems like a very smart guy to me. And the thing is, it's weird. But what I've learned over years, and I've learned it over 20 years, which you haven't learned it over that far, and with my daughter too, people who are smarter and have a higher IQ and they're smarter, they tend to have more problems with depression.
Yeah, like the more you know, the more you're sad, kind of thing.
And the thing is, well, it's like I tried to tell my daughter, you know, I mean, when I was in high school, I tested 196, or 169, I mean, and my daughter tested 171. And I tried to tell her, I said, Jerica, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It's what you learn and what you're doing and stuff like that. I mean, I graduated Hazel Park High School with a D average. And I was the smartest guy in high school in 1981.
Yeah, I did bad in school.
Miss Turka took me and had me tested for IQ, and I was the highest one in the school. I didn't give a shit about school, right?
Yeah.
Because it had to do with me with sports and stuff like that. But my daughter went through the same type of thing, and her mom threw her out of the house when she was 15 years old, and my daughter still went to school, and my daughter was smart as hell. But my daughter already had anxiety and maybe depression at a point in time because her mom threw her out of the house. And I tried to tell Jerica, I said, the thing is, I said, you can have IQ this high, but if you don't learn the stuff that you want to learn and know about it, it doesn't mean that you know about it. You could still be smart as hell. It's like Marty. Marty knows all about books and history and stuff like that when we play trivia. I know television, I know movies, I know animals, I know stuff like that. It's what you learn. Because when I grew up, I knew about animals, you know, so.
Being smart is not having facts. It's knowing how to think.
That's the word.
Yeah, critical thinking is more important than knowledge.
Yeah. It's being able to be given a fact and interpret 100 things from it. Right. It's being able to give them a simple set of instructions and delve into a full formula.
In your head, and you pick and choose if you want to learn. So, yeah.
Right, so that's what people.
It's like be
Even
water.
Though you're short, he's my guy.
No, thanks. Short.
How'd you know he was short?
I'm so short.
Well, you're the shortest one in the shadows on the video. Second. No. And, well, we got another panelist. How you doing, Gabe?
Good, how are you?
Apparently we're here for another minute.
Yeah, come in this point. What the hell?
Yeah, I was helping my dad.
That's fair. Well, welcome on.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabe.
Yeah,
So what brings you on here,
up?
Gabe?
nothing.
All right, good to have you. Good talk, good talk.
Nothing? I'll get rid of him. Yeah.
Sorry you couldn't show up tonight, Gabe.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I was just helping my dad out with making room for his garage and stuff like that. So,
God, he has got the best camera of all of us.
it's it's just a regular
I got
camera.
the best camera.
You do. You all look much more handsome than I, though.
Well, that's not
To
the
be
camera.
fair. Right. So
You
you
lost Bill now.
I may have a better camera, but you have better genetics.
I think I'm just too young.
Anthony says that you're taking over for him, and you scared Bill away. I don't know how that worked. Well, Anthony,
All right.
that works.
That's good.
All right, well, we were just about to end the show.
Sure.
We really were. We were actually about to end it about 15 minutes ago.
No,
we
I
got
know,
talking
I know.
about a few other things
No, it's all good.
on here because we were obviously this is a deeper show than normal, so I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do away with some of the topic shows. We're still gonna have them, but we're not gonna advertise topic shows
Yeah.
per se. We'll have a few that are advertised. A lot of them will just make it the central topic of that show. Instead of having a preset, because people are having a harder time seeming to make it for shows they want to be on when they're scheduled too far in advance.
Yeah, I think maybe a blanket topic, and then you can always move on to
Yeah.
other things.
I'm not
you
sure
know.
how I'm going to do it because I do want to hit still particular topic shows that are important, but something we'll be looking into doing and sharing with everybody out there. Let me know if you're out there, how you think you feel about that. More of an open forum type deal like tonight was, that we still focus generally on one particular topic, but it's still an open forum for everybody. Or do you want the topic shows to stay on Wednesdays? Let us know if you get a chance. And if you don't, we'll just decide for ourselves, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
I'll
we
just
do.
pop in at the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, and then we'll see Gabe for the last 3 minutes, and everything will be happy, and everything will be great.
We'll call
But,
him Goodbye, Gabe.
Goodbye.
I do want to thank you for being here, Gabe. It couldn't have been a show without you, so I appreciate you being here.
I believe it was a show without me. I appreciate it.
I want to remind everybody to like, share, subscribe, and follow Your Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Chat live anytime you want to. Chat anytime if you want. Just go to our website, yourshouldervoice.com. Join that social network. You can post anonymously or as yourself, or talk to one of us just by going to the messenger on there. And you can do that anonymously as well. Or go to our Facebook page and message us. One of us who are the main shoulders in there will be happy to talk to you about any problem you might have going on. This has been our open forum show. So thank you, everybody, especially Gabe, for being here. Again, Gabe, your input was very insightful.
I learned so much.
It was educational more than anything. Honestly, you opened my eyes to so many things I never thought I would even comprehend in my lifetime, and I feel I'm a better man because of your words.
I said
I
yeah
do.
and for about 30 seconds.
We don't have time to go into the whole speech again.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it was too valuable.
It's not,
Right.
It's not about the dynamic of the words. It's the presence that it's being
unfortunately, I forgot to put you in the credits, so pretend Bradway McLean is actually Gabe Grady.
That's
Thank you again for joining us here to Your Shoulder Voice. We'll see you hopefully Wednesday. Have a great night.
it's-
Hey guys, Keith Lippin here for Ear Shoulder Voice. While you're here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow so you can be notified of all our upcoming broadcasts that we'll be bringing to you live every week. Or head on over to our brand new social network and website, earshouldervoice.com, where you can be notified of all our show schedules, suggest new topics, join others like you in a judgment-free zone, or be a guest panelist yourself. So, how was it anyway, Brandon?
It was good. It felt good.
It felt good. I know that had to be hard watching the video and watching you and watching everybody else on the bottom. It affected them quite a bit. You guys can't see each other, but I can see all of you.
Yeah.
Like during the videos.
I went through the same places I was during making the video, so I was up and then down and up and down again. So
I'm glad you shared that video, and it opened up a lot of conversation. I think it really helped people out too.
I'd like to hope so, especially for my bipolar peeps.
Sure.
So what the hell you got against Halloween, Gabe?
The movie.
Yeah, the new one.
The movie just was. I don't know. I kind of lost faith in it on that last one.
I lost faith in it too. I hated it. Don't get me wrong. I was like, but
Right,
it's
but
still
you-
Halloween.
I know, but still, I don't know. That last one pissed me off because it could have been something special, and
Yeah, I agree with that.
They turned it into a continued cash grab, and I thought it was just going to be Jamie Lee Curtis's comeback for one more, last hurrah kind of thing, and maybe that's what this next one's going to be.
Well, the trilogy is supposed to be her last hurrah. They
Right.
said if it did good, they were going to do the trilogy.
Well,
No, I halfway agree with you, and we'll talk about it more because we have our Icons of Horror coming up. We're going to probably delve deep into that, probably with spoilers at that point. So before that show, if you get a chance, it's going to be dropping on Peacock or go to the theater to see it. I recommend the theater, Halloween Kills, so we don't spoil anything for you on that show because we'll be talking about a lot of them. But no, I agree with you. It was not what I thought. I thought I'm more mad at this film than the last one, though. Because I got what they were doing with the last one, but this one seems to be retconning their retcons.
well, it's just continuing. Are they apologizing for the shitty movie that they last made, or?
I mean, it's the #1 horror film ever made. I was like,
Well, as
so I
far
don't
as-
think they're really big on apologizing for it.
You're talking about the one that we went to go see.
The 2018 one, yeah, it's the number.
Yeah.
It beat out Scream.
I just
Oh,
remember
look,
us
Bacon's
walking-
back. Oh, this is a different Bacon.
I just remember us.
You're here for the after show.
I guess.
He's one part of the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
It's exactly what was in my head just now.
Yeah,
Looks crispy.
Where are you at? Oh, you in your backyard?
oh, there
Oh,
you
he's gone. That's where he is. So yeah, we'll delve into it more, but I agree with you. I just
I just remember us walking out of the theater and like bashing it and
100%.
agreeing that it was a completely shitty movie for.
See, I don't think it was a shitty movie. I think it was a good movie. I think it was a shitty franchise movie. It was a shitty thing to do to the franchise.
Which movie?
Halloween, the last Halloween.
Oh, I thought they also.
Yeah, well, you had no taste. But Halloween's my franchise. I love those movies typically.
I mean, I liked 1. I liked 2. I
like 1, 2, 4, 5, 7.
H2O.
Is that many of them?
Yeah, this is I think the 12th or 13th.
Jesus.
2 of them were remakes, Rob Zombie remakes. This one was a reboot. H2O was, the number 7 was actually a reboot from like the third one, or should have been the third one
How
technically.
much money did people need?
But isn't he like 70? Like Michael Myers is 70 at
He'd
this
be
point.
61
Okay, 61. All
in
right.
the last film.
I thought he was immortal.
I don't like. I get
They
that
decided
he's-
that was a bad idea, and
I
then they're
get
bringing
that
it
he's
back.
juicing up and he's exercising maybe, even though he was just in that circle for 30 years at the beginning of that movie. So I don't know how many weights he's at. But at 70 years old, maybe some of the mystique starts going out the door.
Truth, and we'll figure it out. I'll see it. I'll find out, and I know I'm not going to necessarily be happy, but I'm just going to go into it as if the other Halloweens didn't exist, and this is a different horror series that I'm going to watch.
Okay.
It's going to be my best.
I'm going to
bet,
watch it
honestly.
for free on Peacock.
Well, you got to pay for Peacock, so it ain't free.